Salutations, respected viewers. This is George from Ireland. Behind me is the Central London Synagogue. I'm on Great Portland Street. Anyway, it's not that handsome from this side, and you can't make out the stained glass windows because they've got this chicken wire to prevent vandalism. But obviously there are no images of any living creatures there, lest that be taken for idolatry. That's the way it goes in almost all synagogues. So it's been here since the late 19th century. It's not a huge one. This area of London is known as Fitzrovia, which is quite an affluent area now. Wasn't always. There used to be a small Jewish community in Soho in the late 18th century into the early 20th century, and indeed on one street in Soho, I forget which, is it Frith Street? There was a synagogue which only closed a little over 20 years ago. Now this is more like it. You see the menorah, the seven pointed candlestick, relates to, is it Hanukkah, when the Holy Temple, whatever, in King Solomon's temple had oil for only one night, yet it burned for 7, something like that, a miracle. And forgive me, but I can't read Hebrew. I do know that it goes right to left, like Arabic and so on. So this door is almost never used. You can see the disabled access, the ramp, only at Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, is it used because many people come in here then. So the entrance is actually at Hallam Street around the rear. So obviously at Shabbat people will be coming in. And it's an Orthodox synagogue, not an ultra-Orthodox one. I've never been in actually. And the CST is around Community Security Trust. These are security guards who can make sure that worshippers can get into the synagogue and indeed go out of the synagogue safely. So obviously their worship takes quite a long time. Here's another door, but I think it's only a fire exit. And people are going in and out all the time, not necessarily staying that long. So people who work for the Community Security Trust are by no means all Jewish. They just work for it. And when it comes to Jewish New Year, the police will be here as well, because there'll be lots of worshippers. I think they have to do more than 2 services because people can't all fit in. And just to try and discourage any terrorist attack. Not very far away, what's it called? Is it West London Synagogue? It's not that far west. There's the same deal. The police will be outside. And see, the door's wide open every time I've seen it hit open. So it's not open to the public, but there's a choir here at Central London Synagogue, and very magnificent they are too. They're staying at Westminster Hall for the 60th commemoration of a Holocaust Memorial Day, as in the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. So I'm over here on Hallam Street showing you the entrance to actually go in if you come here for worship, which is quite discreet. Hallam is another word for South Yorkshire, Hallamshire, they occasionally called it. Hallam is in Arthur Henry Hallam, to whom Lord Tennyson, Alfred Lord Tennyson, dedicated his poem In Memoriam. Alright, we'll eventually get there. And I wonder whether the chief rabbi spent some time here, because as is a Central London Synagogue, bizarrely I happened to walk past the chief rabbi, the former one, Lord Sachs, when I was over near St John's Wood one Saturday morning a couple of months ago. And so this is the door to go in if you want to worship on Shabbat. Go into the shore this way. So, you know, blink and you'll miss it. There's nothing that obviously synagogical about it. So people will be coming in and out there a lot. So that is Central London Synagogue. I'd be fascinated to see inside. And then there's another door for I think midweek worship. Let me show you. Oh yeah, here. And it doesn't actually say synagogue. You need to be in the know. There we are. They got a security camera. Wondering what I'm up to. And does it have a? Doesn't appear to have a. What do you call it? That little thing, mezuzah, people touch with the scrolls of the law by the doorpost. This next door has one. These are all adults touch it. It's not just men, I'm sure. But I think if you are a boy, you only do it until you're after your bar mitzvah. There, do you see it on the side? Can you see it from that angle? I can see it with the naked eye anyway. Alright, so that is enough of the Central London Synagogue.